What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Elizabeth, and this is The Joyful Sojourn, a community of people that really love stationery and planning and doing things creatively. And if we sound like your people, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Today is going to be brief, and by brief, I mean probably the shortest video I've ever filmed because we're not doing anything creative today. We are talking about all of the different samples that were in the cloth and paper subscription box from a few months ago. I did an unboxing where I get their monthly box. Well, sometimes I skip. It's a whole thing, but I am a cloth and paper subscriber to the monthly box. I skip sometimes, but I did get the box that had a sampling of 6 layouts that were new for 2026. It also included a cover, and I thought that that box was a great opportunity to try rings pretty much for the first time ever. So I did randomly order that box in the A5 6 ring, and this is what it came with. It came with a cover and it came with rings, and then of course it came with the sample layouts and some divider tabs for the entire year, January through December. Now I thought that it would be a fun video to basically try all of the different layouts over a span of time and just see, of all the layouts, which is my favorite. And you guys said that was something you were interested in seeing. So today is the follow-up of that video, and I'm going to show you basically a handful of layouts that I tried over the month of June, I think. And then I'm going to show you what I ended up purchasing from Cloth and Paper just to have available in case I want to use an A5 ring in the future. I use a lot of different planners on my channel. I say this all the time, so pardon me if you are a returner here, but I'm not a brandist. I use all the things. I've used Happy Planner, I've used Plum Paper, Erin Condren, Hemlock and Oak, Archer and Olive, Cloth and Paper, Jane's Agenda, like you name it. I'm up in all the company's businesses because I just like planners and playing. So let's take a look. So again, the cover was in that subscription box. The rings were in the subscription box. And then I ordered a few random things from AMW Planner. She was doing kind of a clear out of her inventory. And so some of these little accessory items, for example, I got from her. But let's just actually jump to, like, this is AMW Planner. Let's jump to this guy. Okay, so we're going to start with the first layout that was available in that sample pack for 2026, and that was the daily layout from Cloth and Paper. It was just all right for me. I will say I really like the Cloth and Paper paper. It is toothier than Plum Paper, which is a little bit more smooth, and it is less toothy than Erin Condren paper. So if you feel like Erin Condren paper is too toothy and not white enough, then you probably would really like the Cloth and Paper paper because it is a nice white and it's a little bit more toothy than the Plum Paper. Some people think the Plum Paper is too smooth. And so I feel like Cloth and Paper is a nice medium when it comes to texture. So I did pull out my Plum Paper A5 daily because I wanted to talk about what I didn't really like, what I did like about the daily compared to what I normally use. So first of all, I love the paper from Cloth and Paper. And I loved that the hourly layout has spacing for half-hour blocks from essentially, depending on where you want to view the, actually, I wonder if I can see if I can lift up one of these guys. No, not without peeling off the paper, but it does have half-hour increments, which I think is very nice for a daily planner. If I'm going to have a daily, I want some time blocking, so having half-hour increments is really nice. You have plenty of space, the schedule covering the entire right side of the page, and then plenty of space for priorities and tasks. What really threw me off while trying out the daily, I tried it for 2 days, was having the schedule on the right side. I'm just used to my hourly layout being on the left side. So this is all personal preference. You might like having the hourly schedule here, but I really couldn't get behind it. So for that reason, the daily just wasn't a fit for me, having the hourly on the right. It just felt like it needed to be over here. And you'll see I do try different like decorating techniques as we go through these layouts because I'm also, exploring new things. And when I think of cloth and paper, I think of the minimal aesthetic. I think of these, task stickers and kind of really simple, transparent sticky. So I did just throw some random ones down. I think that if I had set up a little bit more structure here with proper headers, I would like this a lot more. But because I was trying to kind of keep it simple, it wasn't fun for me. Like this wasn't a fun planner for me to work in. So the daily from Cloth and Paper was a no for me, but it might be a yes for you if you're open to having your schedule on the right side and you like that, that paper. So the next one I tried was the horizontal layout, which has Monday through Friday on the left, Saturday, Sunday, and then open space. And did I do 2 weeks of, no, I did not do 2 weeks of this. I thought I was going to love this one the most, and I did not love it the most. It was not my favorite. I think I struggled with the split of having the graph and then blank space. There was no structure, no lines, no graph, no dots on half of the day. I think I'm someone that needs the structure on my dailies because I write crooked. So this ended up to me looking a little bit more messy because I didn't have like clear lines, especially along here. I also tried to not do really any decorative stuff, and I just added icons here and there. I like planning with icons because they draw the eye in really easily. So if I'm flipping through my planner trying to find, okay, like how frequently am I filling up my car with gas, just to, I don't know, just track how quickly my car goes through it. I love that my eye can go to this and see, okay, I got gas on this day. But part of my review of this is just my own perspective based on how I used it and decorated it. So please take this with a grain of salt and do not be offended if a layout that you love is not one that I really loved. So I am definitely noting that if I had taken time to set this up a little bit differently, maybe decorated the daily headers, did decorative dating so that I could see the dates a little bit better, then maybe I would have liked this a little bit more. I did like that more than half this right page is open, unformatted lines, so you could create different sections. So this is how I did it. I had home and family things. I just started a grocery list, shows I've been watching, and then things I needed to do for work. So it works. I just didn't love it as much as I thought I would. And I think a big difference would have been decorative dating so that the days of the week are called out a little bit more. And I think I need a little bit of structure here. Because I don't like the look of the kind of floating words on the blank space. But it is a very nice horizontal if you're a task person, if you're a to-do list person and you need room for lists, this is probably one of the better horizontal layouts I've seen because you do have a space for brain dumping in addition to your horizontal layouts. So, and then just to talk about the horizontal a little bit more. The way that I viewed the split between the days was events and things that I was doing that day on the left, and then to-dos, task related things on the right. And in the specific case over here, I had home related things on the left and day-specific things on the left, and then I had work-related things on the right. I like that column element, but again, I think I would have preferred having the graph grid go across the whole day and then splitting it myself. So that was the horizontal. Then we get into the vertical, and I don't know if I just did something different with the vertical, but it made sense to me. And it because it made sense to me, I was a little bit more motivated to use stickers. So part of me wonders if I had gone back and done this layout again using similar stickers to the vertical, would I like it? And maybe, but we'll see a different layout in a few minutes where it's kind of similar with the split of blank and grid, and I just couldn't get behind it with stickers. So you can see a huge difference between this layout and this one. It's just cuter to look at. It makes sense. Now, what I did have to do, I wonder if I have a sample that's blank. I did throw a bunch of like the extra ones back here. Maybe not. I did use a ruler and line the days a little bit more. So my criticism with the vertical is the lines that separate the days are like a really light gray, and it wasn't bold enough for me. I needed stronger differentiation between days. So I did use a black pen and further mark out the days. And then once I did that, this just worked for me. I loved having a block. Something about the dimensions of this, it was controlled. We have a clear set like checkbox, so I could do my work-related tasks here. And then the way that I split this up for the most part was I split each day with like work-related things at the top, random things I need to get done in the middle, and then evening activities down at the bottom. So I kind of looked at this as not an hourly, but I did put things in the order in which they were happening. Let me make sure. Yeah, you guys can still see this. So I added a lot of Hubman and Chub Girl stickers, and I did a lot of that kind of after the fact. So when I was first planning, I was using the functional boxes, added some arrows and dashes and stuff. But then as I went about kind of towards the end of the week, I started adding kind of Chub Girl little icons that were relevant to, the things that were happening. And I just really like how this turned out. I felt organized. I did take a step here to test out different Planner Kate stickers. Now, when you go to the Planner Kate website, there isn't an option for cloth and paper planners. There's a bunch of planners that are shown that she makes kits specifically for, and cloth and paper is not one of them. So what I did was I just tested a bunch of different Planner Kate dash stickers because I'm really into the dash boxes. And I liked the skinny dash boxes from A017. That's the sheet number. So like here's an A017. And the Hobo Weeks as well, which is I think a little bit smaller. And then the hourly A010. I wonder if I have an example. Here's a Hobo Weeks if you want like a little guy. This was A017. And then I just added other little kind of icons like these pins to kind of highlight those things. So yeah, I think that what I want to do next is see if the Erin Condren stickers for the compact vertical, which has been discontinued. I wonder if those would fit nicely in here, and if it would fit nicely in the plum paper planner I have coming that is in a very similar layout. So this was my try at the vertical, and of the three so far, it is my favorite, and we'll just have to keep going to see if it continues to be my favorite. Then we get into the weekly schedule. This one I did not think I was going to like, and I really liked it. This kind of combines a vertical with an hourly. I love that the hourly is from 5 to midnight. You don't have half-hour time blocks, but if you write right on the line, you can kind of think of that as the 30-minute mark. This, again, I liked way more than I thought I would. I have my tasks, a lot of them are work-related, but things I needed to get done up at the top. And then I was able to kind of break out how I was spending my time over the course of the week. And this was an odd week because it was my birthday week and I was all kinds of distracted. But I have a space over here for projects, things I need to get done. And I used Planner Kate stickers again to separate this left margin. So I have projects, home, and notes. And, I didn't keep up with a lot of these things like the meal planning, for example. But I also wanted to test different stickers again. So here's the AO17 sticker, AO17 sticker. The, actually, I wrote this down on this little sticky note, because I'm trying out my stickers in all these layouts as well. So the Hobo Weeks dash stickers are perfect up at the top. Hobo dash Weeks. Did I not do one of those though? Maybe I didn't. Covers time on the bottom. Oh, I see. Wait. Oh, here it is. The Hobo Week sticker down here is perfect. So this was the M5 label, but look how that perfectly fits in this column. So if you are looking for stickers that fit the weekly schedule from Cloth and Paper, the Hobo Weeks stickers are going to be a nice fit. So I really like this layout. I feel like it's the best of several worlds if you're a list maker and you want to do some hourly time blocking. I felt like this was enough space. They're narrow, but I actually liked that it collapsed my handwriting a little bit more and it kept it more tidy. And when my writing is more tidy, it doesn't stress me out as much. My planner doesn't stress me out. I think that's one thing that stressed me out with this is there's no structure on one side, and then the grid on the right side of the horizontal is wide, which made me feel like I should be filling it in, and so my writing was bigger. But then when we move over here, my writing is smaller, and it was perfectly comfortable. So I think I like the look of my writing being smaller, which means I want thinner lines, and I got that in the weekly schedule. So I really enjoyed this one. And here, actually, I do want to point out, these are other boxes I tried out. So AO22, these are like add-on 22, was a nice fit as well. The next layout is the weekly admin. And frankly, I quit on this one. Like, I decorated it with every intention to go for it. I used Hubman and Chub Girl. See, I tried totally different style of planning here. Over the course of these weeks, but I tried the Hubman and Chub Girl. This was the ice cream parlor, ice cream truck vibes from, I guess it was the July kit. And I just couldn't get behind it. I feel like it's got a lot of potential because this is an open blank page, and I love a kind of that kind of Hobo Week style where you have an open page and then you have your days on the left. I like the idea of that. But I don't know if my planning style is changing or what, but away from the horizontal, but this one I just felt so uninspired with this. I felt like the days of the week, even though I have typically needed less space in my days because I have more brain dumping and listing of things I need to get done that I can just allocate to any day versus specific appointments and things I need done on specific days. I've always been like that. And so I haven't needed a lot of room on the days, but this felt too crowded. And because the grid, again, is so large, I felt like my writing was going to get out of control, just like it did with the horizontal. So this one, I just couldn't get behind it. And so for this same week, I ended up jumping back over to the vertical. And I don't know what it was, but the vertical just felt better. So sorry, jumped back over to this. I used Planner Kate stickers again and just kind of worked my way through it. And I liked it. I thought it was nice. The next layout was the weekly task layout. And sorry, guys, but this was a weird week because I was going on a family trip from the 10th on. And so I wasn't even here for this. And I set it up, but then I didn't want to use it. And if you don't want to use it, I felt bad going into this video showing you a spread that has no writing on it when I said I was going to try all of them. But I think it's an indicator that I just didn't want to use this planner this week. And I'm not going to blame the stickers or the way that it was decorated. It could be part of it. Maybe if I had laid it out a little bit different, I would have felt differently. But something about this vertical structure, I do feel like we need to see what that looks like. Here we go. well, you can see it on this side. This layout with the vertical having sections for priorities, to do lines, and then notes at the bottom, it's just a U for me. I couldn't do it. So was that all the layouts? No way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was all 6. So yeah, I wish I had more juicy info for you, but I think you can tell just from my personal experience, my 2 favorite layouts of the 6 in the sample pack from Cloth and Paper by far was the vertical layout and the weekly schedule. No, weekly admin. Weekly schedule. These 2 I enjoyed using. I stayed in them for the whole week. I enjoyed adding little touches of decor. Normally when I'm decorating my Hemlock and Oak planner or an Archer and Olive planner or any planners like that, I tend to do a lot of decorative stickers around the perimeter, and then I decorative date and I leave the insides pretty naked for listing. And with these 2 layouts, I had more fun not doing a lot of decorations, sticking to the writing, and then having color and flourishes be added through the types of boxes I used, and then little icons and like the Chub Girl character. And I really had fun with it. So of the 6, those are the 2 that I enjoyed. I want to say that I recommend them, but I'm not going to say that because I think there are obviously people and a market for these other layouts. So what didn't work for me, it might be really awesome for you. So I'll just say those were the 2 that I liked the most. I clearly decorated them the most. I wrote in them the most, and they were the most comfortable for me, and they were new to me. So I did then go ahead and make a purchase on the Cloth and Paper website because for the most part, I actually enjoyed this little booklet. I really did. Not booklet. This planner. I enjoyed the rings. I enjoyed the cloth cover, and I want to have this as an option for 2026. One of my many planners I will be using. So I preemptively went ahead and purchased items for it from Cloth and Paper. And like I said, I got some items from the AMW planner sale as she's kind of clearing out her inserts. Let me show you what I picked up. And I want to make sure you guys can still see me okay. And I'll just say right off the bat that all of these are dated for 2025. And I'll tell you why I did that in just a second. So preparing, I like having a planner set up at the start of the year so I can use it if I want to. That can be very excess for a lot of people, but keep in mind that I review planners and I use planners as part of my job. And so I have more wiggle room to make, I don't know, gambles like that by purchasing things that I may or may not use. So in getting this prepared, I did pick up a bookmark or like a page finder from Cloth and Paper, and this is just one of those guys that will pop in here and I'll be able to pull directly to my current week wherever I'm at. So that'll go in there. So got that little item, and I think this was in the sub box. I think this was in the same sub box. So glad to have this. This is just a little pocket folder. And of course I can throw stickers in here or whatever. I can decorate a page, maybe put photos or something and pop that into the back of the planner. So got those 2 items, and then very excited to have this. This is a kind of multi-purpose or multi-planner purpose piece of plastic. We pay a lot for a piece of plastic, don't we? This is punched on both sides, either for a discbound planner, half letter size, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, half letter. Or on the other side, it's punched 6 for a 6 ring. This is what you can add to the back of your planner so that you have a stiff piece of material to slide into a folio, a pocket folio. So this changes the game for people like myself who have never liked a 5 ring style planners because they always come in binders, and I don't like the 3-ring binder vibe. But when they released these individual rings as standalones with these kind of, they're not snapping covers, but that vibe. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. When they released these as separate parts, I was more willing to try this. And the idea here is, obviously the back of this cover is way too stiff to slide into a wrap cover. So what you do is take this guy off, pop this guy on, and then I'm presuming almost, depending on the, I guess the size of the wrap, but you put this guy on, and then you have something that can slide into a cover. And actually, should we just test it out as an example? Hold on, guys. Let me grab a folio that wasn't necessarily made for this purpose, but that will give you a sense for how it's supposed to work. As I drop everything now. I don't know if this is going to fit, but we will give this a go. Let me give you an example. So this is a wrap cover from Jane's Agenda, and it is for a half letter, I believe. So the idea with this guy is, if I ever decided I wanted a wrap cover, but I still am glad to not have the binder vibes, you just open this guy up, open it up, take off the back cover, pop on this guy, and I love that they sell these individually. I think that's a nice feature. And then it takes your loose ring A5 and it gives you permission to slide it into a wrap cover you might already have from another planner. So we did that. Just curious. And it turns, this is meant for a disc-bound planner, but now I can slide that in here and it turns it into, it gives you that binder wrap vibe if you want that. So this is a little bit small for the Jane's Agenda one. This might be, maybe this is for an HP Classic because that does look pretty small. But it still gives you the example of what I'm talking about, why I picked up that piece of plastic, because I do have, you know, different wrap covers from disc-bound systems, and this allows me to use those covers while having it on rings instead of discs. So that was one of the items that I picked up from Cloth and Paper. Now we can get into the inserts, but I do want to make sure I pop this guy back on. Pop it on proper. I do think you have to be careful with these loose guys. Like, you want to make sure you don't slide it too much to where the paper wants to come off. But I have found them to be pretty easy to open and close. The silver ones, at least. The black ones that I bought that you'll see in that Cloth and Paper unboxing video are still really stiff, so I haven't been using them. But just a fun way to, if you're a disc-bound user and you want to try this, you can do that. Okay, so let's talk about the inserts now that I picked up. I picked up 2025 inserts because they were, I want to say they were 50% off or 40% off. They were a really good deal. I don't mind redating things. And Cloth and Paper made a change for 2026. They say that it is to help people out so you can customize your planner even more. But I think people are going to struggle with it. And that is, you now have to purchase your monthly layout separate from your weekly. And I think that's helpful for people like me that like a monthly that starts on Sundays, but likes a weekly that starts on Mondays. I like mixing and matching. This allows me to do that. I can buy a Sunday start monthly and a weekly start, Monday start weekly. Did I say that right? But having to pay separate, and there probably not being too much of a price benefit to that for us, kind of made me feel, eh. So I picked up let's just do the major inserts first. So I picked up the 2025 inserts because I knew that they had both the monthly layout and weekly layout together. And you can choose, do you want a Sunday start or a Monday start? And because I am pretty consistent in decorative dating my planners, I went with a Sunday start insert so that all of my monthlies would be accurate for the rest of the year. And then I can just redate my weeklies every week decoratively based on how like that layout looks that week. So I got the 2025 vertical weekly lined Sunday start. And we're not going to look through this whole thing, but my plan is, and because I use multiple planners, I don't want to buy a brand new full price A5 rings situation if I'm not married to the idea of using it regularly. So for me, it was clear, like, and I purchased this back in July. I was like, while we still have 6 months left, I can get this and I can use it for the rest of the year, or I can start it off in January if I want to. So this is the 2025 planner. And it's going to have, you know, all these dates that are for 2025, but I'm not mad at that. I could also just take these pages out if I want to. All of these kind of years at a glance. Because I have multiple planners, I'm going to have this information for 2026. So I'm no love lost there. I could do without the decorative elements, so that's fine. Oh, so the other thing I'm presuming you lose then, if everything has been separated out for 2026, is you don't get stuff like this. So this is like a goals page for January, and it says 2025, but I can redate that for 2026. And then we have January. The January monthly Sunday start. Yes, we have holidays printed on there. That's fine. I can wipe those out if I want to use this in January 2026. But I'm just glad that I have a monthly layout that came with the whole bundle. Then you have notes that separate from the monthly from the weekly. Now, this is different than the sample they gave us. Let me show you what the sample looked like again. The sample I actually prefer because, actually, is that true for every? Yeah. So in the sample for 2026, this section over here, the to-do list, does not have a calendar on it. And I don't think I realized that the 2025 version has a calendar on it. So you are going to lose real estate over here with your weekly to-do list if you go back to 2025, because this is taking up a lot of space. But I still think this is really, really nice. And for a fraction of the cost, I love it. So I'll just put a sticker, some washi tape down to cover up the calendar. And then it's a Sunday start planner, which I can leave as is, or I can go through and redate this. And since January through, when am I filming this? July. January through July are already done. Those months are going to be saved for next year. So I have to redate it anyway. So I can change it to Monday if I want to. And the only thing I have to redate if I want is, of course, those guys. And then you have the date range for the week up at the top. So that is what I ended up purchasing. I wish that they had less holidays, to be honest. There's too many holidays on here. And a lot of these I don't observe. And so I just wish all planner companies gave you the option to say yes or no for holidays. Do you want holidays? Yes or no? And also, if you're giving us the list of holidays and observances here, do they have to be on the monthly? I love that they're listed here. I can go through here and add them to my monthly if I want to. So I just wish they didn't print them on the monthlies because they take up space. I mean, look at how many holidays are in March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 holidays are like things to note. It's a lot for me. So that is where I put my money. It's where I put my money where my mouth is. And I went with the vertical. I'm kind of wondering if I should go back maybe towards the end of the year. Maybe the discount on inserts for 2025 will go down even cheaper. And I would get the the weekly layout that has the hourly down at the bottom, because it would be kind of nice to have that as well. So that's what I ended up purchasing. And then these guys, I forgot about these. These were pretty affordable too at a discount. These are year overview pages, which I'm not sure I would have purchased if I knew if these are the exact same. Oh no, yes, I'm glad I got these. So I wanted these just because I have nothing else really in the A5 6-ring size. And so I wanted bones that I could redate. So this is a yearly overview, and it is for 2025. So it has these calendars, but so many small shops sell square stickers that have the dates on it. So I can smack the appropriate sticker down for each month in 2026. The rest of it, totally naked. I mean, there's nothing here that is problematic. So these are quarterly pages. So I just wanted matching paper that fit the system, that I could just change out the stickers. I would do this even if I was buying brand new weekly inserts from Cloth and Paper. I would still go back and buy the yearly overview from 2025 to save money, especially if you know you're going to get the stickers anyways. Now, you could look up the cost of stickers to redate it, and maybe it won't be worth it to you. But if you like stickering, or you already have the stickers, then it might be worth just getting an old yearly overview. And then these aren't day specific. I mean, it says 2025 aspirations, but you cover that with a sticker. These are just lines, and then 2025 accomplishments, and that's it. So got this. And I should also mention that I used, because I've been an on again, off again subscriber to the sub box, I had a lot of points, like Cloth and Paper points, whatever they call them. So I did get Cloth and Paper points, or I did use points, and that knocked, what's the max you can knock off now? $10. So I got everything on sale, and then I added like a $10 or $20 discount on top of it. This I thought was a very cool item. This is a fold out year at a glance, all on one sheet. And I thought that this would, I hope that this is easy to redate. I might regret this one, but you're not gonna be able to see this fully. Actually, maybe if I remove these inserts out of the way. I thought this was gonna be a fast video, but I'm going into greater detail than I was planning. But here you go. So this is like a fold out accordion situation for 2025. Maybe I should have bought this for 2026. I don't know, because it's got January through June, and then you have horizontally going across every day of the month. And they have highlighted weekends. Wish they hadn't done that, because those weekends are going to change. But this is all fresh and new, and I'm kind of tempted to do some wellness tracking on this, since we've got July through December. And I just like that you can see every day for the entire year on one sheet of paper, and it just collapses, and you can pop it into your planner and then pull it out. So I did get this, and it's a nice cardstock. I might, yeah, I mean, I kind of think I want to start using this now. And then if I like the way that it's working for me from July through December, then I might splurge and get a new one for the new year, so that I don't have to deal with this. I remember the price being at a point where I felt like even if you get 6 months out of it, it was still worth it to try it. So those are the things that I ended up purchasing from Cloth and Paper after I played around with the different samples. I wish every company did sample packs so that you could try different layouts before a new year and decide which one is for you. I think that it really helped me figure out what season of life I'm at or in with planning. I, for a while, have been a horizontal person. I think I just never really liked the vertical happy planner. And so I just presumed I didn't like vertical planning. And so I was always a dashboard person or a horizontal person. And these two layouts are really starting to make me flip back over to realizing I think I like vertical and I like daily planning, which technically is vertical. What I didn't like was a specific layout from a specific company. And there are other layouts I love from Happy Planner, but it was just the vertical is always the most popular. And I'm like, why? it's 3 empty boxes. Like there's no structure. And I'm realizing I get why a vertical. I get why our minds think vertically when we think of, lists. And so yeah, it was really fun to try these out. I hope that this was helpful. You got to see how I played in 6 different layouts when I ended up purchasing from Cloth and Paper. And I'm curious, have you tried all of the new layouts that were in that sub box from Cloth and Paper? And if so, which was your favorite? Let me know. Come hang out with me on Instagram. My handle is The Joyful Sojourn. And if you want to hang out with me again, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time, friends, God bless you. God bless you and keep you do something creative today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.